Welcome to your transit forecast report. This is the Peace Dealer. Thank you once again for your order, and I hope you gain the utmost of quality from this report. This was quite literally the perfect time to get this report, so kudos. We know you were born with your sun on the North Node in Pisces. So the reason why I think this was the ideal period to get this report, which will span the next 6 months, is because in 6 months from now, the North Node will be in Pisces. You're going to go through a nodal return. The last one you had was 19 years ago. And Saturn and Neptune are going to get ready to go into Aries. So we have a lot to unpack here because this is fascinating astrology right now. We're going to bring back the past 6 months. The reason why this is a really good period to get this is because you are harvesting currently past this full moon. And what's interesting too is the moon right now is in Scorpio, right? So the moon is about to enter Sag, and you were born with the Scorpio moon Pisces sun. Now we're at Scorpio moon Virgo sun. So this is truly this opposition point for you. So let's actually break down the significance of this period right now. Right now, with the sun in Virgo, which has activated a new moon in Virgo cycle, and is getting ready to integrate over the next couple of days and pretty much bring in this like real change for everyone socially. This represents the 180-degree harvest from March of 2024, where we had Saturn, we had the sun, all in Pisces. This right here, the new moon that we had on March 9th, 2024, we know was actually in proximity to your North Node. So that's what's going to make this transit hit for you specifically, and people born in this like 70, 69 more than other people, because this is resurfacing not only your destiny mission, but it's getting ready for you to return it into next year. That's what I want you to see this Virgo season as. March, we activated the first Saturn Sun cycle in Pisces in 30 years. So the totality of beliefs that were activated as a Cancer rising with the Pisces Sun established this authority in the arc of you being a divine spirit teacher who shows people the metaphysical and helps people believe in the divine. You literally show people how to see into unseen metaphysical principles through imagination, through belief, however that applies, right? The proximity of the MC is promising fulfillment en route to your Saturn return that you're going to have around like 2028. All right, 2027, 2028. So everything is in gear for you. All right, we have to really establish that Neptune at the tail end of Pisces is now at this stage in your ninth house. If you remember, 2004 rather, was the last time Saturn was on your rising. And since then, now it's reached this fulfillment harvest point on your MC. So throughout the rest of the decade, this is going to be you completing the authority and success you gain from this. Especially with Saturn transiting a ninth, it can give a very powerful element of becoming an authority figure on the MC and being able to apply what you've learned the past 7 years to begin teaching it directly or indirectly. We want to really establish that. The reality warping, you already are the queen goddess here. So not only do you have the vessel of the king of the gods, you have the power of his wife in Greco-Roman lore, Juno. Always look at Juno on woman for the sun, rising, and moon. And you were born at 8 days after the conjunction. So you carry a lot of rulership, authority. You're blessed with the goddess of beauty exalted here and destiny. All right. So this is where the fated nature and quality through you really has played out, especially over the past 6 months. And the reason why we want to establish the definition of this and why I'm so passionate about this is because the reality warping mechanism through this in the ninth house is effectively having you activate a program through your own consciousness with which everything you believe and see in your imagination, that's what you're real time creating. According to science, this is bullshit. Although according to certain aspects of quantum mechanics and certain metaphysical sciences, they've already broken through into this understanding. Regardless, you are an authority with which is going to guide humanity as a pure ascended master, right? As pure divinity, towards this extent, towards this element. And we can't deny the proximity your moon has to Neptune in your natal chart. All right. So with that being said, since March, now we are, of course, in Virgo. And the significance of being in Virgo means that we've activated this cycle. By June, you began to break those seeds through the ground. The seeds you planted in Pisces began to break through the ground in June, where you started to now release unconscious doubts and thoughts around beliefs because you began to sprout a thought process with the new moon of new beliefs that support that everything that you imagine and see is actually creating. You're literally creating reality through your imagination. It's something that since 2012 you've been able to do very smoothly, but now Saturn is adding discipline, integrity, and like manipulation. Like you can actually control it. And not to say you couldn't before, but it's just that much more noticeable. That's where Jupiter has entered your 12th. And this is the very last chapter for you since 2011, 2012. By next year, you're going to kick in a brand new evolution cycle. So what do we know about this? All of 2024 is the year your entire life changes. The perspective around how you have leveled up your philosophical approach, and now in Virgo, how it is you're going to analyze the effect of this God level ability. Let's just call it that. This ascended divinity, if anything. So the significance of that is this is the year everything's going to shift around your perspective. And then when Saturn and Neptune move forward in Aries and Jupiter move forward in your rising and starts this brand new 12-year chapter, boom, we're moving forward with the shift. This is the year you're shifting the direction you take the boat. And then next year we're sailing in that direction. Although we may deboard the boat once we step into this new world order in Aries. Speaking of Aries, the North Node and the eclipse happened in your 10th house. So this unlocked unconventionally, which we'll do in October as it is on Uranus right now. It's unconventionally and through innovation, redefining your comfort zone as you have established an original and authentic new direction that you head towards in your career, that defines your career, which as a Pisces sun is your money house. All right. So this is everything that now we're in Virgo. The belief that you've had that through Gemini has supported, oh, okay, I'm starting to actually think that this is more than possible because I'm seeing more synchronization. I'm seeing greater evidence. Now, Virgo of analysis is harvesting the actual real detailed dynamics of this, where everything you've imagined for 6 months, you're quite literally seeing real time as an attribute of your own attitude and mindset. How, remember, Virgo answers how, Pisces answers why, how everything you've believed, which with Saturn is a system of beliefs that you have attached toward your consciousness, how everything you've believed real time actually creates itself moment to moment. In the third house of abilities, this belief of you imagineering your reality is now a skill and ability. And we have to once again respect, this is the first time in 30 years Saturn is here. So Saturn is what's anchoring the causality, the causal nature of the consistency that will be born from this. And then on top of that, seeing the nodes are involved just aligns this more into a 20-year cycle. So that's why I'm excited. Like, this is dope. Now, How are you going to be aware of this? We know that your attitude and these abilities are going to be pretty much cemented. Well, as a Pisces sun, we know your awareness of the opposition is relationships with other people. So you're going to be seeing through your interpersonal reactions and relationships and actions towards other people, how your attitude is developed to align with this system of beliefs that effectively have you. Once again, Pisces is at the top of the penthouse. Y'all are the most magical MFers in here. So this is going to be you pretty much expressing your abilities to others, quite literally showing and practicing how it is you express this. These abilities will now be integrated into a lifestyle and routine where you're creating, Sagittarius, a lifestyle 6th house around this ability, this mindset, this critical analysis, to where you will now be showing people, hey guys, this is how I'm able to literally imagine what I believe, and it happens. So you're in the sweet spot. The hard part really was to plant the seeds and then integrate these seeds from June to September. From September to December, purely harvest. From December back to March, completion. You're seeing the meaning of everything you've imagineered. And then by the time you get back to February or March, boom, eclipse in Pisces. This eclipse in Pisces, you're going to change people's lives through your life being changed. That's why I almost feel blessed giving you this reading, because your magic's rubbing off on me. All right, just by presence. That's the key theme for you. You are the divine queen goddess. All right, like every woman who I see with Juno and Venus and the North Node, but especially Juno, that's rulership. It's not to be said out of flattery. It is a status and it's a rank. And you have this in the 9th house of God. So like, this is big G-ish, you know what I mean? And no one feels that as deeply as you. You have this consciousness beyond the physical. So the Virgo season is showing you how through other people you deal with, these beliefs are fulfilled by you analyzing how they play out. So now that the moon is in Scorpio, it's returned for you. As it goes into Sagittarius, you're going to begin to integrate this new development of your attitude around relationships with people, how this magic actually plays out, and how you're in integrating this, you're preparing to create a lifestyle around it. The full moon in Pisces is now going to complete this process. That's what's going to bring us to Libra season, the eclipse that we're going to have right by your Uranus, all right, at this 7-degree point. And it's going to fulfill the original eclipse we had at the end of Libra, October of 2023, and then April of 2024 in Aries, boom, back to October of 2024, all right? And this is what's going to innovate the unconventional redefinition of your comfort zone, because now you've moved into a new direction that you were destined to establish this success back in April of this year. And that's going to consolidate the consequence of coming into that success. And now how the way you feel at home in certain social spaces, the way you operate in your place of home is completely redefined. This, because it's on Uranus, is going to bring unpredictable windfalls of income shifts for you. And we know that this makes a 209-degree quincunx close to the 210 to your sun, which is, as a Pisces sun, you're going to experience major transformation. All right. But as a Cancer rising, this transformation is going to really be a redefinition of the social foundation with which will innovate the actions you take in order to achieve success. So the Virgo and Libra season are very important, because this is where the change begins. Like everything was just, getting ready, activating, integrating, nurturing, boom, it's happening. Okay. So you're going to, throughout the rest of Virgo season, begin to harvest exactly how this is shifting for you. Then you're going to move in that direction with the right people and transform how you deal with others, because, well, now you're applying this supernatural level of reality warping. And I mean, as simple as just believing. See, it's not going to be that way for everyone, because other people are not going to have their sun and North Node in Pisces like you. So, destiny is not literally going to align with your will and heart on a whim. And you have seniority, so you've been around the block compared to people born in the 90s, 80s. you're very strong. Like, you've built so much experience. And that's what Saturn represents here for you versus someone born in the 90s, where this is their first 30-year cycle. Like, you are getting ready to cash in all this experience. So this eclipse in Libra is going to really establish this. We're going to have, of course, the new and full moon here, which is going to conclude the final part of this eclipse chapter before, by February, South Node goes into Virgo. And that Pisces Virgo, this is what it's all preparing you for, because the South Node is going to be on your Pluto, North Node is going to be by Pars of Fortune and Venus, and the rest of 2025 is really just going to be fulfillment of your legacy and destiny. The return to where you were before and how far you've grown, which collectively is really just going to benefit everyone else in the world, which goes to show how important you are. That being said, all right, we know that by this point, Jupiter may start retrograding in your 12th, and the trine that will be made through this point is going to just reevaluate how your beliefs, the thoughts around your beliefs, are supporting this redefinition of your comfort zone with the right people who you trust. 8th house to your Pisces sun. And the end of Virgo season and the end of Libra are going to trine Pluto 29 degrees and square Pluto. So this is what's going to account for drastic shifts, to account once again for where we're going moving forward. Of course, that's the end of this old world as we know it and the beginning of the new world. Hence, by the time we get into November and elections happen in the United States and everything gets just, beyond wild, this is going to strengthen the pure intensity of the abilities you've activated in Virgo, because Libra is going to now redefine the balance with which enables you to make this new ability or this new mindset, analytical mindset, critical and detailed mindset, consistent and balanced, so that once we get into Scorpio, you can intensify how much deeper, how much more intense, how stronger you express this perspective that you're harvesting right now. The psychoanalytical depth with which Scorpio season is going to have you drive into your creativity will also transform your philosophy around your talents. And we can't forget that Uranus may be out of the retrograde by this point, like Pluto will be going direct during this period. So this is where, by the time we're transforming the depth of strength psychologically, that will have you take what you're harvesting now and just full throttle it pretty much. This is going to, with the opposition to Uranus, innovate so unconventionally the wealth that could be gained from this. And now this is where you having Saturn in Taurus is going to make this process so much more stable than other people who don't have Saturn in Taurus, right? Whether from the new gen or in 1970. But then you have Jupiter in Scorpio, which will also allow you to safely expand more of whatever efforts you do. So you will kind of really feel this smooth intensification of energy that won't suffer from being too unstable because of the unpredictability of Uranus. All right. On top of that, we also have to keep in mind that with the sextile to Pluto that will now be direct, this is going to apply this intensity and depth towards the extreme awakening of the direction with Pluto in your 7th. You're going to be taking relationships moving forward. The Pluto retrograde is mainly just revisiting old lessons around the boundaries you're getting ready to draw as it'll go through the 8th, in realizing that you're holy. So you're going to attract evil, who will always be perturbed by your holiness. The Cancer rising sincerity that's not going to sugarcoat and lie to people. But you may hold space for them to lie to you before you let them know, I know you lying. I don't want to set it up that everyone you meet is evil, because that's just unrealistic. Everyone in the world is not a bad person, just 99.9% of them. But that being said, that 0.1%, I hope that's a joke, but that 0.1%, I want to say that's a joke, but I feel like you feel it's even deeper than that. The few who do are going to be very instrumental towards this 11th house Taurus Uranus revolution that will touch Gemini by 2025. All right. I think by this point, Jupiter should be direct. Regardless, Sagittarius is going to be a very key game breaker season. We're going to have the sun opposite Jupiter in Gemini. But most importantly, everything that you have begun to harvest now will finally reach completion after we unlock destiny through Libra and intensify the harvest of the strength of this perspective. That's what's going to enable us to complete the perspective by now seeing into the meaning of the beliefs and the belief systems we've established and what that means for our life, what we were able to accomplish with it. What that means for you in the sixth house is now these abilities and mindsets that you've activated and harvested since now by December will now be integrated into a consistent routine and a lifestyle, creating the ascension firmware update every year of your lifestyle, but now relative to Jupiter opposite this in Gemini. All right. This is going to be a stark contrast to next year where Jupiter is in Cancer and then in Sagittarius season, we're effectively creating a new lifestyle around this new 12-year cycle, the evolution of who you feel you are. But in Gemini, this is releasing old unconscious habits now that you're evolving your spiritual beliefs. So the Jupiter opposition to Sagittarius coming around December is going to account for the evolution of your spiritual beliefs and create routines and lifestyle that balance and quite literally show you the meaning of these spiritual beliefs. In as such, because Pisces is now in the ninth house, this puts a 270-degree angle to your Pisces sun. So the sixth house Sagittarius of creating this amazing lifestyle is also going to be the routine that makes you aware of the success you come into your career. So that's how we blend the 270-degree Capricorn signature angle from your 8th degree sun in the sixth house. The Capricorn signature in the sixth house means that the success you're going to see in your career is going to be influenced by the lifestyle and routine you will have created to live into this success. All right. Which is really badass because by this period, you will have seen everything you've harvested, and this is going to prepare you for the rest of the decade very flawlessly. All right. Sagittarius season is definitely going to do a very important number in ending off the year with a wild bang, as well as once again highlighting this important meaning, which completes the cycle originally started with Sun Saturn in March. So the vision that will shift your perspective around how it is you've created, once again, an ascension of your routine is going to be integrated and applied into how you take this ascended perspective and move forward with other people with it. So you can show people how this behavior, how these new harvested reality warping abilities you've integrated to see how you can incorporate them day to day, apply to your relationships with others. With Pluto that will by this time be in Aquarius, continue to awaken supernaturally other people because now you've mastered the application of this. And we have to also keep in mind that the Capricorn season in the beginning of Cap will be squaring the nodes at the beginning of Libra and Aries. So you want to look at the end of like November. You want to look at the end of November. No. You want to look January 20th. You want to look at the end of December. Yeah. Coming into January. I know January 20th is going to be Aquarius. So yeah, the end of December, like December 23rd, 24th, that's when it's going to square the nodes. And that will be a bit of like a shifting of train tracks because now you're aware of how the redefinition of your comfort zone, because you've come into greater success, allows you to connect deeper with your relationships with other people. Of course, as a Pisces sun, these are the partnerships you have with your awareness of the friends who belong around you and how you work towards with them, whether that's by yourself or with relevant other people. Boom. Once we step into February, It's game time. This is the most important part of the next year because it's going to set up the most important eclipse of the year. February, the North Node is going to be in Pisces. The South Node in proximity to Pluto will immediately be felt. And we're going to have the Sun conjunction with Pluto again. But this time, this is the official activation of this 20-year cycle, which happened this year. But unlike this year, it's not going to retrograde back into Capricorn. So we're stuck in here. Like we're ready for this new world era, and the extraordinary levels of craziness that it's going to come with. All right. That being said, we know this is your 8th house region. And as a Pisces sun, you're going to be transcending quite extremely the trust and the boundaries you have with others because of how much more extremely you claircognizantly tap into knowledge and wisdom, as opposed to the previous 30-year cycle where you were still coming into your Saturn return or completing it. Now you've been around the block. You're more than an OG, and you're a very important figure that, you know, younger generations and people in your age must look up to because you're the divine teacher. And now the North Node has returned, and you are guiding through us all as an aspect of destiny once again. So Aquarius season is going to really be quite literally the calm before the storm, even though it's going to be very stormy. All right. The square to your moon and Jupiter will also account for the square to Uranus, which will innovate a whole lot of how you maneuver through these trust issues and deeper trust and intimacy. And that's what brings us back to Pisces, where we're going to reenact the last Sun-Saturn Pisces conjunction we will have for another 30 years. We're going to have the eclipse with the North Node. And this is going to be the new moon, full moon cycle, March of 2024, that will establish the success you are destined to achieve. With the North Node aspecting the MC, it's not going to be next to the MC, but as it, you know, through the next 6 months comes through. So that's what through you is going to change a lot relative to what you've activated March of this year. And Saturn and Neptune will eventually move into Aries the next 2 years. And that's where you will move forward as more of an authority that you have already begun to establish. All right. And I feel like, you know, right now to December, you're incorporating supernatural principles that people have been talking about, but you're experiencing real time. And by December, it's like, hey, look, I can show you real time how this works. And by you showing people these experiences, you're literally teaching them to believe in their imagination, to believe in the universe, to believe in the divine, because you are purely divine. All right. As an embodiment of holiness, it is a blessing to have given you this message. I hope you enjoyed this report. And I mean, keep me posted. Feel free to email me and let me know, because I mean, the rest of this year looks like ridiculous fulfillment. And coming into the first half of next year is the establishment and fulfillment of your legacy that, of course, from March 2025 to September 2025, you won't also see harvested. But in between that time, where's Jupiter going to be? Boom, starting a brand new 12-year cycle for you. So I hope you enjoyed that report. You stay blessed as always. And until next time,